take the game from a young G.
Who can get the average man to think with a military mind prepared? Get ready, you bomb first.
But one of the illest memories that I have of Tupac is when Suge had called us to go. Suge had something going on in Vegas, and everybody from Death Row had to be there. And I think I told the story before. Shout out to you, Corrupt. Everybody in Death Row had to be there. Snoop and all these other people had already loaded the plane. But Tupac didn't load the plane yet, and Tupac had all of us with him. So Suge told Tupac he has to board the plane and we have to go, and then and Tupac said, well, I'm not boarding the plane unless all my people's board with me, which was us. And Suge was like, you kidding me? Like, you gotta board this plane and have them dudes get on another flight and get down there however they're gonna get down there. I guess you know what I'm saying, but just. Y'all couldn't, you have to go now. And Pac said, if I don't go, none of us go. If they don't go, none of us go. And I'm hearing this, and I'm like, no, Pac, no, just go, and we'll get there whatever way we get there. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your business. I don't want you to fuck. But I didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? I had that in my mind, but I was like, damn, I don't, fuck it. And next thing you know, Pac went into the spot. Whatever happened with him and Suge must have said, I'm not letting them go with you. And Pac came storming out of the fucking thing. Like, basically, if I come out, we leaving. And I said, if he comes out, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, Pac came out the room, out the thing, walking, and he just said, let's go. And I ain't say nothing. It was like, when you're the general of your squad say, let's go, you don't even ask a question. You just move. Because that's the general. You know what I'm saying? So when Pac came out, he said, let's go. And he tore up the plane tickets, and he was mad as a motherfucker. And I put my head down because I knew it was going to be a bad night. And we went straight to the studio and we recorded this song called Never Call You Bitch Again. And I kept trying to record my verses, and I kept looking at Pac through the glass window, and he was mad and arguing, and he looking like discomforted and like just fucked up. And I dropped my headphones and I said, I can't record, man. I said, this shit, I'm sorry, Pac. I was like, this ain't the night, man. Like, this, like, seeing you and this whole, like, I'm trying, but I can't act like none of this shit has affected me. You know what I mean? And that was probably one of the illest nights, because I've never ever did that before. I've never had somebody affect me so bad that I couldn't record, and it was almost like I wanted to go in and console him, but it was personal. Like, I mean, it's not my business, There was nothing I could say. I didn't want to get into nothing that wasn't my business.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab. I'm in the building, and this is MAKAVELI Media. So you hear Buckshot talk about, what happened being out in LA with Tupac and watching Tupac and Suge butt heads right in front of him. I don't have no prior knowledge of what I'm about to say. I'm just a factual guy, but I like to look at evidence as well. I like to deal with facts, and I like to deal with evidence. I don't have any real fact about what I'm about to say, other than the evidence that we all could witness or things we could hear about secondhand from the people that was there. And I've come to the conclusion that Suge Knight wasn't thrilled about the boot camp CLIK coming out to California with Tupac. Just my opinion. I don't think Suge Knight was too thrilled about the One Nation album in the first place. Here's two reasons why. Just hear me out. The first being the boot camp CLIK, Buckshot Shorty, Smith & Wesson, were the two main acts that came out representing the California to record with Tupac from the boot camp CLIK. Let me clear that up. And they weren't that critically acclaimed. They didn't have the commercial success that Death Row artists had. Or maybe, the type of artist that Suge would necessarily want Tupac to be in connection with. You know, Boot Camp CLIK would go gold, you know, at the most. And you talking about Death Row that was spinning gold at the time. What I mean by spinning gold, everything they touched was a success. And Suge probably viewed this as a step backwards for Tupac in his recording process. Now, Tupac didn't care about your stature. Tupac cared about the quality of your music. Tupac was a hip-hop head that knew how to make commercial hits. And like I said, the Boot Camp CLIK didn't have really, you know, Billboard hits. But they did have some good hip-hop. So Pac wanted to work with them. Tupac was going to share his spotlight with Black Moon, Buckshot Shorty, and Smith & Wesson, Tech and Steel. But like I said, Suge wasn't impressed. And how do I know? I remember being a teenager, and one of my homeboys was whipping before I got a car, and he was like, yo, Gab, you know, come on, take a ride with me. And I have some of my other homeboys with me, and he'd say, no, just you. And then when I get in the car, I'll be like, yo, what's up? He like, yo, why you keep hanging with them bum motherfuckers, man? I don't fuck with them. I like you. I don't fuck with them. And I'm saying, whoa, they my peoples. You hear Suge tell Pac, we got to get out to Vegas. Let them other motherfuckers get out there the best way they can. And Pac probably was like, yo, I invited them out here. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? They ain't got to way down there. They might not have the bread. What have you. Whatever it was, Suge was like, nah. Let them get there the best way they can. I don't even think Suge had any of his assistants help Tupac pick up the Boot Camp CLIK. It looked like it was Pac I seen meeting them with their luggage and all that. I just don't think Suge was too thrilled about those guys because they didn't have a big enough name in his opinion. Or maybe, just maybe, hear me out. Like I said, Suge wasn't thrilled about the idea of this One Nation album. And why is that? It's quite simple. Death Row Records helped build their empire off of beef. You gonna say, what? Yo, when it first started, it was a lot of Death Row dissing Ruthless Records going back and forth between Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eazy-E. Controversy sold records, and that shit helped build the empire that we knew. When he signed Tupac, they kept the party going. The beef with Bad Boy was in full effect. The East and West Coast shit was popping off, and Tupac and Biggie was alive and well. Right in the forefront of this shit. And what was Suge doing? Fanning the flames of the beef, getting money coming into the record label. The One Nation album, guess what Tupac was about to do? Kill all of that shit. Tupac was squashing the beef and making peace with the artists that he liked on the East Coast. And I'm not sure, like I said, Suge was thrilled about that. I don't think Suge wanted the beef to stop because it was money. It was very profitable until somebody got hurt. So Tupac wanted to end the beef by bringing East Coast artists out to the West Coast. And like I said, Suge was on board, but he wasn't a willing participant. He wasn't carrying no luggage. He probably wasn't paying for no hotel room because you heard Smith & Wesson say they was staying where? At Tupac's house. He was like, yo, Pac, this your shit, this your project. If it was up to me, I wouldn't even fuck with these dudes. But you heard Smith & Wesson say Tupac was doing this and he wanted to put this out on what? MAKAVELI Records. He wanted to do what with the One Nation album? They was going to put one out where? On MAKAVELI Records / Death Row. And the other one was going to come out on Duck Down. When Tupac died, neither one of those projects came out. Now, what does that tell you? Suge told Duck Down, Buckshot, and them other motherfuckers, they better not touch none of that shit. They probably got a cease and dismiss letter. And the recordings he had already on Tupac and them for the One Nation album, all of those vocals got broken up, chopping up, and used for other projects. Except he didn't use none of the vocals from Smith & Wesson, Buckshot, Greg Nice. I don't think nobody that was on that album, vocals, ever seen any of those Tupac albums that would come out later through Mr. Feeney and Suge. That's facts. My humble opinion, tell me what you think. I don't think Suge Knight was thrilled about Tupac working with the boot camp clique, so it doesn't surprise me 1 minute for Buckshot to see Pac and Suge arguing over him like he a little kid, watching his two parents butt heads. Or here's a better example. Like when your peoples tell you no company in the house. You know what I mean? Your mom that told you no company in the house, and she come home and you got your homeboys in there. And she's zapping out like, didn't I tell you not to let nobody in here? And your homeboy standing there and they just like a deer caught in the headlights. Like, damn. I'm sure that's how they felt because I don't think, like I say, Suge made them feel invited. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to sub to the channel. This is MAKAVELI Media. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm your homie Gab. I'm signing off. I'm about to hit y'all with the peace.